welcome back to another exciting episode of It's All Related, the podcast where we talk about all things intuitive and living in today's world. I'm Sonia Choquette. This week I am in London talking to my beautiful daughter, Sonia, who is in New Orleans. Hi, Son.
Hi, Mom. It's been a hiatus. We've been gone for a hot minute. So nice to be back on the pod with you.
I know. We just all got kind of busy and needed to take a minute off, but I'm excited to be back, and it's a beautiful day. It's good energy, so it feels like a new season, like spring season. Spring is in the air.
Spring is in the air, and this time of year, like energetically, to me feels more like New Year's than New Year's.
I know. New Year's doesn't ever feel. It's not New Year's. It's New Year's. It's New Year's by calendar, but it's this. I mean, like today, I woke up and I was looking out. We look out at a garden, and it was just in full screaming bloom. It was gorgeous, and it just lifted my spirit. And then I went for a walk through Regent's Park, which is my favorite walk here in London, and so many incredible, beautiful flowers. It just, again, it's like note to self, walk in nature and be around flowers is instant antidepressant. It's instant
truly
lift the funk. I mean, it made me happy. I found myself singing as I was walking because it was so much happy nature colors. I felt like all the flowers are trying really hard to cheer everybody up and keep everybody happy. And I really felt that way.
It is. For myself, especially when the world is overwhelming or things are overwhelming and my pet or my ego gets really loud, going into nature is, as you said, not only instant meditation, and especially in the springtime, because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not separate. I'm like, I'm a part of this whole ecosystem as well. And it's such an easy place for me to like turn things over. I'm like, okay, maybe I can't navigate or try and figure all of this out, but I can give it to this giant oak tree that can
especially the ones in Audubon Park in New Orleans.
And I said oak tree because it's true.
It's incredible. And today as I'm walking through the park, I had this flash that the flowers were watching us.
Cute.
That somehow we also are part of nature, and I wonder how we look to the flowers and the trees. And I was like, well, that is actually a more accurate multidimensional perception.
Definitely. That reminds me, I listened to a podcast a long time ago. It's a podcast called Radio Lab. I love it. It's science, but they're storytelling, but they did a whole episode on the intelligence of plants. And how, as you know, we like to think from our science perspective that in the old modeling that only human beings were intelligent. Well, now they're recognizing how plants not only have their own language, but they did this experiment where they took two plants and then they had a pipe that split. One way they split the pipe, and they had another pipe that had running water that was in another plastic tube. And then, so basically the plant had an option to grow towards the water or away from it. All right. So the first thing, plant grows towards the water. And they think, oh, there's moisture. That makes sense. So then they wrapped the pipe that had water in it. They wrapped it and insulated it, and the plant still grew towards the water. That it's like they have their own listening. They have their own hearing.
Of plant things, I think I read this in like Scientific American or Popular Science or something, that they did this experiment where if you start talking to your plants before you come home, they get ready for you.
I believe
so
it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do talk to my plants now before I come home and they are just thriving. I mean, they can feel your energy in the field, and that's basically what finally science is catching up to what we've been talking about all along is our energy communicates, and we interpret it in non-five sensory ways. We receive it intuitively, energetically, and it's not just us. So I think that it's really, one of the things that would be really nice for this spring is to start this spring really accepting that intuition is no longer that extrasensory perception, but it's, essential sensory perception that we all have, and just start integrating that I have to check my vibes, and whatever my vibes tell me, I'm not going to fight them. I'm not going to challenge them. I still am surprised by how many people that I mentor or teach are just getting incredible, consistent downloads. And the first thing they say is, I don't know why, but I feel this or I sense this. And I say, you do know why.
Yeah.
It's your inner senses, your inner guidance system is working perfectly well, but your logic brain is lagging. Right. It's still lagging. It's still working on the old software.
The old model. I was sitting down to do videos this past week because I've shared on the podcast that I've gotten really burned out. And then I was like, I'm just going to do my own video. And instead of doing this or that, I was like, let's talk about what intuition actually is. Because I find that sometimes I'll have these conversations that we're not actually talking about intuition as, it's like the voice of your intuition or the voice of your spirit, but it's that we're here to create, that we are here to be creative, that we are here to be connected, that it comes from our heart space, that it's a whole guidance system of listening, and it's normal. So can we just accept? Can we just accept?
I think it's
that?
Time.
Yeah.
I think that really is the big message of today is that let's stop convincing you.
Pretending to be confused.
And or feeling like we have to somehow validate it so that people can trust it. It's like, it's just who we are. It's just part of human nature that has been sidelined and now is finding its way back to center. And let's just start perceiving life through that lens, inclusive of all our other senses, that our vibes are really information that's very accurate if we are grounded and we're clear. I mean, it's like, it's not like every it'll blip across your inner screen is some accurate intuition, but it's something.
Yeah.
And it's just time to pause and say, well, what is this? Is this energy from me, from you, from the field, from the world, from the ground? And identify, just like when your eyes, am I seeing something in my head? Am I seeing you in front of me? I mean, where am I focused?
Yeah.
So
what am I paying attention
I say to people all the time, it's like, you're looking at me, but can you describe what I was wearing if I walk away and you're not looking at me any longer? Because your eyeballs are on me, but you're not really seeing me.
Are you present? Are you actually present and taking in what's in front of you?
It's the same with intuition.
Right. It's like, what's truly right in front of you? I had dinner yesterday with a friend of mine, and this is a new friend, like acquaintance, lovely person. I haven't seen him in a while. And we sat down and we had tacos and we were chit-chatting about life. And her family is, I learned, Iranian. So, of course, I was asking how her family was doing. And just a genuine, like, hey, like how are you? How's your family? And she looked at me and she was like, it's fine. And then pivoted to just a fluff topic. Okay, no problem. I can read the vibe that's just her capacity or framework. I don't need to keep going down that line.
Scary topic for her.
Yeah. But even more than that, even energetically, I could just feel that didn't feel like being that real was something that was practiced in her friend circles. So fast forward, she's telling me about this, she's asking me what I've been up to. And I was telling her about our class that we were how you're teaching this class and how much I've enjoyed being in it. And then we started talking, and she's like, well, what do you do? And so I'm talking about intuition and all these things. And I'm laughing because I'm like, it's not gauze, and it's not namaste, and it's not the McDonald's manifestation drive-through, and it's not this or that. And, we're laughing, and she's like, you're so normal. Just felt shocked. She's like, you're just so normal. And I'm like, it is normal. We are reclaiming it being woo-woo or weird or special or out of this world as just, no.
Pay attention.
And we're feeling it. We're feeling all of it. And
it's saying so.
Definitely. And it's funny because when you start to really give it language, I mean, I catch myself all the time of being like, if you didn't know me or didn't have any frame of reference, what I'm talking about all the time is vibes. I'm like, the energy here, and I'm feeling it there. And, I was talking to her and I was like, wow, there's a lot of even in listening intuitively, I'm like, she's somebody who comes a lot from her head. I can feel it. I can feel it. And it's not a judgment. It's just, I feel it's a lot of mental energy. Yeah. Yeah.
I could tell, I can tell if someone's in their head, I instantly know our conversation isn't going to go very far. We'll talk about things on the surface, but if we go deeper, now a person can change, but I can tell even if they're going to change the channel.
Right.
I can tell that. I can tell if the mental door is locked and sealed, and that's the only perch they're in. And I find it's really important information. It used to annoy me. Now I have a different feeling. I feel like it's all they know. So I got to adjust my expectations and not try to go deeper, but I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to go superficial.
Right.
I'm going to just still stay in my clear vibe of being myself. And I just had that experience because I'm looking again for my perpetual hobby of life at apartments. And now in London, I went and I looked at this 2 apartments in the neighborhood where Sabrina lives. And the woman, I could tell she instantly was in this, isn't this a fantastic place, when it clearly was not. Clearly. And
I love it.
And I walked in and I thought, okay, I don't want to disrespect her effort for being there, and this is her work. So I was trying to say, I was asking myself, do I go through it and act like I'm genuinely interested? When the minute I walked in the door, it was a hard no.
Yeah.
And I was negotiating with myself because she was like, isn't this fantastic? And so I just said, I stopped and I said, it is fantastic for someone, but not for me. And I said, I work with vibes. And I said, can you see this as my vibe? And it surprised her. I said, can you feel that this might not be my vibe? Because this is your business, so I'm sure you're really good at this. And it surprised her. And she said, no. She came off the program and stepped into real.
Right. This is, I said, her business. She's showing it and trying to be enthusiastic. And she's got to be enthusiastic. But you can't walk into an apartment and be like, look at this piece of shit.
Right. I thought, man, I would never be a good realtor. What about this junk pile? I just said it is wonderful, but for someone else. And I thought, thank you guys. Thank you guys for giving me that.
The language. But I also just love of when you, and I forget, and so I think it's one of the things that I've seen also as through the progression of our life and as we've gotten older, of how our like back when I was a kid, you would say that, but not say that. But now
I'll say
you just say it. It's not even a filter. And what I also appreciate about that is, it's like people are like, oh, how do I help? And how do I heal? And how do I come out of the closet? And how do I believe? And how do I know? I'm like, when you make it normal in that moment, even through that, it was an invitation. It wasn't a challenge.
Met me there.
Does this match my vibe? And to give her the space of the pause, where she's like, well, I know exactly what we're talking about. And no, it's like
the elephant in the room that everyone's ignoring. It's like nobody talks about the vibe. She's talking about the rug and the carpet and the ugly window and it was very corporate. It looked like a very sterile corporate place. There was nothing about it that it was me.
Yeah.
Now we both could see that. We both walked in and could see this collision of vibe. And I said, can you see that this isn't kind of my vibe? And she paused because she didn't know where to go with that. And she said, yeah, I guess, I see what you mean. Because I said, and then I helped her. I said, and I'm sure that because you're so good at what you do, you'll know if you see something that is my vibe. I had to give her a segue forward. So that she didn't feel uncomfortable. She was just doing a good job and showing me. And I felt like I left with someone who could probably really do help me if something comes up.
The supportive,
and not waste time. Like she probably doesn't want to show up and show something 2 seconds in, going, nope. That could be discouraging. Right.
I mean, I have a lot of appreciation for everybody who works with people. And I guess that's whether it's in community or out in the world, exactly on any level, because we really do. I'm like, you have to really operate.
I had this boyfriend in college. It was actually probably my best boyfriend ever, Randy. He sold women's shoes. Yeah. He ended up being gay. Probably just why he's not
out of the closet.
Eventually.
He was your best girlfriend boyfriend.
But he really didn't know that in high school. But we both enjoyed women's shoes. Anyway, he was really a great guy.
I mean, I love that. How fun.
Sometimes I would go wait for him while he was winding up the job, in the mall, selling women's shoes. And how many women would just be like, he'd open the box and someone would go, no. And he was always a good sport about it. And I would think, I would have a very hard time. Someone asked you to bring out 10 pairs, and the minute they open the box.
Fifi. You're we call it my mom's. Our ego barking dog, Fifi. Fifi, if she feels you've been rude, depending, Fifi's got fangs.
Well, Fifi doesn't like, this is Fifi without patience. Fifi's not the most patient poodle, I will say. No. Maybe because I can pick up a vibe so fast. Maybe I would be that person. But how he would go through it, and people would walk around a shoe for 10 minutes and then say no, and how he just, I really admired the fact that he could hold that space and not be reactive. Even then, at 19 years old, I thought, you have a real talent here to hold space for people and how their process of coming to a decision. And because I was so intuitive and in training with my teachers big time, I would see how people rationalize their decisions. Whereas you could just put a shoe on your foot and it's either a yes or a no. I mean, honest to God, how complicated can this be? But I admire that not everybody gets that clearly, doesn't give themselves the permission to actually tune into their genuine experience. Yeah. And that's what intuition is. What is your actual energetic experience? And can we all get on the same page that energy is what's informing my decisions?
Do you like the shoe?
Right. And does the shoe like your foot?
Fit.
I mean, it goes
does the
both.
Shoe fit?
Fit. In every sense of the word.
Truly, really.
Basically, that's what intuition is does the shoe fit?
Does the shoe fit?
And no Cinderella going on here. No ugly stepsisters slam it on your foot and think it's going to work. It's like if the situation isn't comfortable, it's not going to last long. If that energy doesn't comfortably align, it's not going to last long.
It's true. And then you take off that shoe and throw it against the wall and you got a blister. You're like, I should have known.
Knew it.
You knew it. What? Just know, the knowing it. Well,
I think that's what we have to teach. What we're trying to teach people is basically, does the shoe fit?
And that you
don't have to, even if it's visually attractive. God knows I have loved some shoes, but does it fit the experience you want to have in the shoe? Are we energetically aligned here for more than the moment?
Yeah. And that's I remember really just a while ago, I wanted to get a trainer here. And I got this woman through my gym, and she was nice and gregarious, but just even the very first time I went, I was like, something, and it wasn't judgment. But it was like, something's not a match, but she's lovely, fine. We do it's fine, it's a workout. And then she just started making some different comments. She was just making anti-trans comments and just very throwaway. But for me, I'm like, that is not my vibe and not okay. And I, again, had to just speak up and be like, thank you. This isn't a good fit for me. And I didn't want to, and it was just the same thing.
You don't want to be
knew it immediately, though. I knew it immediately. Upon appearance, everything was fine. There was a part of me that didn't have enough information to call back and be like, actually, I need a new trainer. But it was a good affirmation and reminder to not talk yourself into stuff. Because you could easily go, well, it's this and it's that, and these are the reasons and whatever, and the excuses, and instead of,
and you don't,
does this align with my own, with me and my spirit and what is important and what my values are and my truth, and it's from there, it's simple.
And I think what make it even simpler, if it's not a match, it's not a match, and that's no need to discuss it.
We love to discuss it. There's a big part of people who love to discuss it.
But we don't need to discuss it to listen to it. No. I know that if I have a vibe that doesn't work for me, I will not go with it. If something's off, I will not go with it. Because every time I do, I get smacked down hard. Are you ready to experience a glorious life? One in which your intuition guides you in every single decision that comes your way, and you feel the constant support and assistance of your spirit guides and your angels watching your back, opening doors, pointing you in the right direction, and keeping you out of harm's way? And how about a life where you actually succeed in creating the life you want? Well, that is all possible if you sign up for my brand new first time ever masterclass, Your Glorious Life, a 6-week life-changing transformational teaching teaching you how to trust your vibes, how to listen to your guides, how to connect and make sure you create what you really want. Sign up now. The class begins October 20th, and I don't want you to miss out. The link is in the notes below.
Same. Sometimes it takes me a minute. Sometimes it takes me a second. Because as not only a Pisces, but I'm just slower to come to decisions. I need a moment to percolate, which I find different than you and Sabrina.
It's
sometimes
very
you
different,
guys in your spirit and your energy are fast. For me, when I go too fast for myself, I'm often for myself, not actually checking in with my spirit and my intuition. I'm going along. And in the moment, it might feel like a good idea. I remember we were just talking, Sabrina, and you were talking about me moving houses, apartments, different things. And it was all three of us on a phone. Sabrina was away from the babies, and you guys were coming up with this idea and that idea and this and that. And I remember just having a moment of, and Sabrina was like, what do you think about that? Because she's, again, action, let's get it grounded, let's make it happen. And I said, I love this. I need a moment, because in this moment, me saying yes is just going along. And that was having to check my own vibe. It wasn't even about checking, is this good or bad, but let me, if I check my own vibe, am I connected, head, heart, listening? I need a second. Well,
that's the point. Not everybody's intuitive process is the same. So one of the things you want to really reflect on is, what is your intuitive process? Mine is visceral, heart, gut, that's it. And my mind is, get out of my way. To my mind, I say, I don't need to talk to you. Don't get a vote.
I really imagine you just shoving your mind out of the person out of the way. I just say, you don't go do the laundry. You don't get a vote. You don't get to weigh in on this, because my experience is really information. I don't need to explain. Like, for example, remember the time I've told this story where with your dad and I, when we were first married, we wanted to buy this house. And we put a bid in and we're waiting for it. And I woke up one morning and said, I cannot buy this house. And I got in a lot of trouble for it, because I talked us into the house. And then I said, I don't want to buy the house. And Patrick was like, you're crazy. We're buying the house. And then, of course, me, over my dead body, you buy the house. I'm not buying the house with you, even though I talked him into it. Then the realtor thought I was nuts, and everybody was pissed at me. And why? And I said, I don't know. I don't know why, but we're not. Okay, long story short, we get out of it. Cost $1,000, which at the time was like $100,000. But I said, I don't care. Yeah. Because we lost our down payment. Well, we were supposed to close on that house in June, in June. Came and went, nothing. But in July, for 6 weeks, it rained in Chicago, and that house flooded. We would have owned it for 2 weeks. And it flooded. And that realtor called back and said, I remember her saying, you really dodged a bullet. You didn't buy this house, and now it flooded. There's a whole part of the Chicago River flooded. And she said, I can't believe, after all that trouble, I'm glad you don't own the house, because she was really pissed. And I, at the time, I said, I just knew and didn't have enough information. Maybe I picked up on the weather pattern that was, hovering over the mountains, hadn't gotten quite to Chicago yet, but I knew. But I didn't have the data for what I knew energetically. And that was one of the more difficult. I've had 1,000 of those, but I remember that one being really difficult. Because that's why I wrote in the book, Trust Your Vibe, Stand in the Fire. It's like, you will get hard, you can at times get a hard pushback. And you may not have any data, because it hasn't shown up yet. And to be courageous and confident enough and to know what you feel. And because our intuition can be often a lot of little, no big deal things, but that's like big red light vibe. Stop. No. Everything in your body.
Everything
out. No. And it's like, and I think it's truth.
You're going to get pushback sometimes. I remember reading for a client who just loved me. I'm always a bit worried about those clients, because it's a bit, there's an undercurrent of, you will always make me happy, tell me what I want to hear. And she showed up, she got a divorce, it was very difficult, started dating some guy, really excited about him, came to see me, and I could see it wasn't right.
A match? Yeah.
Wasn't a match. And she was like, he's coming, I bought him all these presents, I've met him online, and I knew he was catfishing her. I knew it. I just knew it. It was just, she'd give me a lot of information, but she said she had bought him a lot of presents that and I said, this is she said, are we going to get married? And I remember saying to her, just go slow, because something about this isn't resonating and isn't safe for you. And she got really pissed at me. She said, I can't believe that you wouldn't be happy for me. Just projected all kinds of, I think it was around secret questioning, came spewing out like Dragon Lady and just about burned my skin off me. She said, I've known you. I can't believe you're so petty. You won't support me. You're just like everyone else. She left. I did not hear from her for 8 years. And then she came back and said, I don't know if you want to talk to me again, but because I know how I behaved, but I ended up marrying that guy. And he was a complete fraud and took me to the cleaners. And I have been completely robbed of hundreds of thousands of dollars after. And I was so sad because I was not mature enough, or I was not skilled enough at the time to communicate maybe in a way that would have landed for her. But she was hell-bent on doing this anyway.
But it's hard. What I know to be true from working with people and even just of how you've taught us, it's different in our style. Is I'm not gonna, unless you're available, truly open for guidance. If you're open for a solution, if you're open here now as a reader, it's our responsibility to have integrity, to be neutral, to be loving, have people feel seen, to be honest.
Yeah, free will.
Yes, and to empower people. But if you're not available to hear something, you're not available to hear. If you're not open with intuition, anything, no matter what, you could get a data report. You could have God come down from a cloud and say, here, the universe, all of a sudden a portal opens and a document of all of it. And you still would be like, this is a really cool light show. You're not totally, it's not sure.
I remember once when I was very young, probably 13 or 14, and my mom was on a pretty regular, she was meeting clients and doing card readings for people at the dining room table. Every single time someone sat down, she'd say, before we start, I need to ask you, do you want to hear what I get, or do you want to hear what you want to hear?
Very different.
And she said, they're very different, and I can't tell you what you want to hear. So I'm not going to start until we're clear on that.
And also, plot twist, I can't hear you.
And then I can't hear you because really plot twist, I'm totally deaf. So I don't even care what your answer is, but you better figure it out. But what I have learned is you have to assess yourself, whether it's not about reading like we do for others, but for yourself. People say, oh, I don't hear my intuition. It's the first question is, are you available? Because intuition, I said this once, I think I said it on my program of Trust Your Vibes. No, on True Balance. Intuition gives you new information. It often invites you to do something different than what you're doing. And a lot of people don't want to change their plans.
Absolutely.
Or their outlook.
I mean, for my own times, I can think of me being in my early 20s and just in a really bad relationship. And I knew for a long time. I did. I knew if I got quiet. I remember the moment that I was like, this isn't going to work. I walked into where our back room was in the old house, and it just hit me. And I didn't want to give it up. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating how I sometimes just think about how our egos and our human selves we get so attached to what's familiar and what's comfortable, and it can be miserable, but it's what we know. It's what you know. Like,
there's that saying, better the devil you know than the one you don't. And I don't agree. If it's the one you know, it's not going to get better.
It's great. Right. It's not going to get better. But I think of just being and the more that you can get into that, this is good. And I'm not talking about tripping the lights, fantastic, everything. I'm just talking about like real. It's like this relationship isn't working. The
shoe doesn't fit.
The shoe does not fit. And how long do we then we might romanticize the shoe? Well, I got this shoe when I was 10, and oh, look at the scuffs on this shoe. Like, oh, it's going to be in the garbage. And
isn't this a beautiful shoe?
This is, I remember when I saw this shoe. Yeah. It's not that bad. And it can, I'm like, sure, like all of that can be true, but does the shoe fit?
Right. Does the shoe fit?
And
is the shoe trashing your foot?
Right. But again, grounded data, I think of just with this, it's when you're really connected to your spirit and your higher self, you can look at your life and evaluate the different compartments, areas, relationship, play, life, work, whatever, and not from judgment, but is this really working for me?
Right.
And the mind for myself can go into, oh my gosh, it's not, and all these different things, but it's really simple energetically. It's like, this is working, this is not, this is where we need to grow, this is where you need to let go, and where we have to befriend, like discipline comes from the word disciple. And discipline isn't a bad thing. It's being a student. And from that listening state, it's like we learn, we grow, new things come in. It's a whole other framework of how
I definitely
to
feel
navigate.
that right now the entire planet is being invited to do new things. I know I am. I had a whole agenda going one way, and now I am getting the guidance that maybe I have to reorient my whole foundation. Yeah. And I've been toying with this for years, but now I feel like now.
You're ready.
I still don't know how. So I've settled, I get the now and I'm open to the how. Because I think sometimes people don't listen to their intuition because they want the how first.
Yeah.
And I definitely know that you're not going to get the how first. It's like when I called the sale of the house off. I knew I had to do it now, but I didn't know how it was going to unfold or explain myself. I looked like a complete nutter butter to everybody who was saying you argued for this, you wanted this, but I knew I have to get out of this now. I do. And I think that if you're going to live a truly intuitive life, and especially right now, because this planet is changing, make the decision to accept what your intuition is saying now, and don't insist you know the how, just be open to it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm open. I don't know if I walked back from looking at that apartment today thinking, where I will end up will reveal itself, and it won't be and ironically, I was talking to Sabrina about this. I said, and it'll fit, like the shoe will fit. So I did use that same little shoe metaphor again.
Guys are coming in with shoes.
The guys are tap dancing with the shoes today. So I think that that's something that we could really call the tool of the week, is like, does the shoe fit? And if it doesn't, acknowledge it. Right. Even if you don't know what will fit, acknowledge what doesn't fit. That's a start.
And from your spirit, from your wiser, higher, non-judgmental, non-reactive, curious, connected self. Because
I think that's what the meaning of surrender is. Yeah. Your ego has to say, I don't know the answer, but I'm open.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm open, and I'm going to trust it'll show up. Definitely living an intuitive life is a lot of open trust. Open, expect, trust.
Yeah. Yeah. Act.
That's it. You got to be
expect,
open.
Trust, act.
Yeah, you've got to be open that you will be guided. You have to trust. You have to expect that it'll show up. Trust it when you get it, and act on it when it does show up.
Yeah, and don't make it a big deal.
So when your barking dog's trying to interfere, you have to say, I don't have time for you.
You don't I say thank you for trying to help. I say thank you for trying to help.
You're nicer than me. I'm like, out of here. Different styles.
Different styles. But I absolutely love that. And I have to remind myself, because I've got a lot of ninth house. So I like to think and philosophize and all these things. And then it's like, okay, that's cool. Now ground planet.
Right.
Ground planet. What does the shoe fit? And my other thing with that too has been, real quick, I'm like, mind my business. Sometimes I don't do it because I'm minding other people's business. in one way or another. I'm like, just mind my business. I got enough. I got plenty. I got plenty of my own shoes to try on.
And it actually helps to write down what is my business to mind. Yeah. I was talking to a client I was mentoring yesterday. I said, you need to mind your own business, because she wanted to get some support. But she and her partner, older people, they don't have any family, so she wants to get somebody to be supportive. Someone who's going to find this one, or kept trying to bring in various people to be the candidate that's going to be her surrogate caretaker family, should, the need arise. But the way she did it is get into their business up to her earlobes, and just would get lost. And like, this one doesn't know how to pay their bills. This one wants to go back to school. This one doesn't have a job. She had so many people's business on her plate. And I said, not any of these people are going to take care of you, because you're so busy taking care of their business that never crossed their mind you need anything.
Amen.
So mind your own business is very good practice. And it's not being rude.
No.
It's being responsible for yourself.
And also giving yourself energetic spaciousness to hear your intuition.
Right.
If you're crowded when I'm crowded, and like I'm busy, and with my partner laying, oh, you need to do this or X, Y, or Z or whatever.
Right. So everybody out of the pool.
It's right. It's like my own business. You got this. But
so before we go into the question of the week, now that we have the tool of the week, what do you have coming up?
I have a few spots open for mentoring this spring and summer. So if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I encourage you to book a discovery call to see if working together is a good fit. And as always, I'm doing readings, which you can also find the link below. Other than that, I am revamping my site, so stay tuned. I will definitely keep you posted for new announcements. How about you, Mom?
Well, and as you know, we're in the middle of the certification training, and we've got it's a three module process, and we're just about ready to enter module 3.
I can't believe it.
So that will be taking us for the next 5 weeks. I have loved it. I've enjoyed it.
Same.
It's my purpose. It's our purpose. It's so fulfilling. And then after that, I will be doing just a one-day guided transmission, because I am working a lot with guides. We have new guides coming into the planet. Our planet is changing. So on June 21st, which is out there a bit, I will be doing a transmission and offering from the guides for anyone who's interested, a kind of an energetic blueprint on who, on a soul level, your next of who you are becoming, what's trying to birth in you, the self that's trying to come through, an expressing of your authentic self and a manifestation of an authentic life. So that will be in June on the 21st. So you can just stay tuned for that. It'll be announced on my website. It's a bit early, but it'll come up in the next few weeks. That's what I have coming up next.
How exciting. I've just been loving being in the classroom, and I love your transitions. I honestly read all your books and watch your videos, because it is a transmission. It's not, well, those it's guides you, it's not you.
It's not me. It's the guides coming through, and they are really, new guides are coming in. Our planet is changing, and new guides are connecting with everyone and activating parts of you that were lost or ignored, or you shut down, or we're not ready to manifest yet. Now, there's a lot of people all of a sudden feeling a whole new version of themselves is starting to come alive. And so that's what this is about. So it's just going to be a one-day event, and I'm really excited about it. It's not even one day.
So the best way is that to do it to sign up for your mailing list? Is there how do people stay connected?
That's a very good question. I do have a brand new website, and there is a free meditation.
Congratulations.
You can sign up for the free meditation, and there's a course on how to meditate and a free guided meditation, and it's really helpful for anybody, absolutely free. And you can then be on my mailing list, so we'll let you know when the transmission comes.
Love that. Also, go check out my mom's new site. Sabrina, and their team have been working so hard on it. I'm so proud. It's such a huge labor of love and something to celebrate. Celebrate with a free gift. a meditation.
We are going to be tweaking it for a while, but there is that free gift, a meditation free gift, because I want everybody's nerves to be nice and calm.
Are they new shoes? They're new shoes for your nerves?
They are new shoes for your nerves, and hopefully they fit. I'm still trying them on.
Well, as always, we love to have our question of the week. If you'd like to write us, you can write us at itsallrelatedpodcastquestions@gmail.com or vibecheck@soniatully.com. You can find those email addresses also in the show notes. We love to hear from you. This week, we have a question from our listener, Joe. Joe says, why do I continually and immediately get an impulse to share ideas with others that are so obviously for spirit and meant for me? Is this a form of over giving?
Well, first of all, Joe, you're channeling from your spirit, the creative spirit in you. And I think you're just looking for a little mirroring and collaboration. So yes, you are oversharing. But I don't think that the real issue is oversharing. I think the real issue is a little discernment about who you're sharing with. Because you might be trying to, I just see you like a fireworks show of creativity and want a little, creativity is play and fun. And I think you want to find people who will explore with you, or at least hold space for your creativity, and you ground it more, you own it more, instead of just giving it away. So it's just a little adjustment.
Love that.
It's not a big overhaul. It's like, take what's great, this brilliant downloads of creativity. The discernment is, there's a saying, it's a little strong, but it says, don't cast your pearls before swine. And what it means is don't throw your good ideas out where people trample on them.
Yeah.
So don't share your great creative inspiration. And I know that feeling. I get a lot of downloads all the time. And if I'm sharing them with the wrong people, they just look at me blankly. I regret that I have shared it, because it's like playing tennis and you just dead balled the game. So you have to maybe take a little bit more time and think this through and ask yourself, what am I looking for? Or what would I love in this sharing process? What would I love to experience? What do I want coming back to me? I know what I'm bringing forward. What do I want back? And that would be the bigger focus right now.
I love that. Yeah, what I'm feeling, that's your beautiful creative spirit. That's your intuition. Overgiving, yes, but I feel like what you're looking for are your people. Mm-hmm. When creativity is fun and that type of energy is just like where you want to collaborate and where you want to connect. And when, just as you were saying, with discernment, some people aren't good collaborators. Some people have different styles. Some people aren't available. So I would encourage you to even start to pay attention to these ideas. And it's like, if you want to write a book or as a creator, or maybe start a garden or have a party or whatever, go into like Eventbrite or go into your local community, go to your community college and take a class. I find it's a really wonderful way to meet people and to share something that you guys both already love. That's a great way to have different collaborators. Because, like, for example, you're not going to sign up for an art class and go to an art class every Saturday if it's not something that you truly care about in your adult life.
Right.
I won't.
Right.
It's think it's a good way to finding your people.
I think you want to find your people, and I also think it's important to give yourself permission to let creativity for its own sake matter, instead of that it has to be productive.
Yeah. Absolutely. And also this, maybe if you with somebody who is 5'7" who doesn't get it, you can just even say, here's my creative idea.
Yeah, I'm just talking to myself and sharing it with you.
We don't need anything. I don't need you, other person, be enthusiastic, because sometimes it's you with creativity too. It's like you get a flash of inspiration, I get a flash of insight. It's a moment. It can be like a little blip. So sometimes maybe you just need to say something
or
out
record
loud.
it on your phone.
Right. Instead of having to share it with someone else, or that they have to do it, or that you have to share your your insight or wisdom. People who are naturally interested in their own vibe will lean in and be like, ooh, that's cool. What can we do for that? That naturally entrains. So I'm like, keep going.
Keep being creative, Joe, above all. But find, and if you need a community, check out the Good Vibe Tribe, because there's a lot of creatives in our tribe. We have 900 people in our tribe now, and they are all truly receptive, open, creative people. So you might get some good mirroring there, and a little encouragement that you might not be getting in your physical world around you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love you. Thank you so much. And like I said, if you'd like to write us, please, you can write us at vibecheck@soniatully.com or it's all related podcast questions @gmail.com. And we love to hear from you. And as always, if you enjoy our podcast, please rate, subscribe, share, leave us a comment. It means so much to us. And you know who means so much to me? You. I love you, Mommy.
And you. I love you,
and
too.
I love our whole soul family.
I love all of you, and we'll see you next time.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.